By Governor Ronald Reagan of California.
George Herbert Walker Bush, 41st President of the United States.
Governor Clinton is now President. Bill Clinton too close to call.
Here it is, George W. Bush re-elected. Barack Obama, President-elect of the United States.
This is CNN.
We're live in Charleston, South Carolina. It's debate night after a dramatic day in the Republican race for president. Iowa declares a new winner. Rick Perry bows out. And 35 hours before the polls open here in South Carolina, we have a dead heat. The Southern Republican presidential debate starts right now.
Welcome to the South, the heart of the Republican Party, where tradition lives.
The strongest military in the world.
And values matter.
We want a conservative on the ticket.
Tonight, the Republican candidates on stage in South Carolina for their final debate before the First in the South primary. Mitt Romney, the frontrunner, going for another win, trying to close the deal with skeptical voters.
I will work to get good jobs back.
Newt Gingrich, on the rise, trying to harness conservative support as the field gets smaller.
I am the only candidate capable of stopping a moderate from winning the nomination.
Rick Santorum, with renewed momentum after learning that he won Iowa after all.
We defeated Mitt Romney in Iowa.
Ron Paul, the insurgent, a powerful force in the first contests with an army of young voters.
We are dangerous to the status quo in this country.
Now, South Carolina is ready to put its stamp on the 2012 presidential race.
The President of the United States.
Welcome to Charleston and the fight for the South.
From the North Charleston Coliseum, this is the Southern Republican presidential debate. Tonight, the four remaining Republican candidates are with us with their ultimate goal now in sight. Welcome this evening. I'm John King. This is the final debate before the South Carolina presidential primary. That's on Saturday. Republican leaders from here in South Carolina, 13 other southern states in this audience tonight, along with members of the Tea Party Patriots. Some of our audience members will get a chance to directly question the candidates. You can also take part in this debate by sending us your questions online. On Twitter, make sure to include the hashtag CNN Debate. On Facebook at facebook.com/CNNPolitics. And of course, as always, on CNNPolitics.com. It's time now to meet the 2012 Republican presidential contenders. Joining us on stage first, the Texas Congressman Ron Paul. The former Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. The former Massachusetts Governor, Mitt Romney. And the former Senator from Pennsylvania, Rick Santorum. Ladies and gentlemen, the Republican presidential candidates. Now, just before we came on the air tonight, we recited the Pledge of Allegiance. Now, please rise for our national anthem. We're blessed tonight to have it performed by military cadets from the Citadel right here in Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That was fabulous, absolutely fabulous. I want to ask the candidates to get comfortable at their podiums, have our audience take their seats while I tell you a bit about how tonight's debate will work. I'll ask questions, as will some members of our audience tonight. I'll follow up and guide the discussion. Candidates, promise you, we're going to try to make sure each of you gets your fair share of the time and the questions. You'll have 1 minute to answer and 30 seconds for follow-ups and rebuttals. And I'll make sure you get time to respond if you are singled out for criticism. Now, let's have the candidates introduce themselves. We're going to ask them to keep it short, and here's an example. I'm John King from CNN. I'm rooting for the Patriots this weekend, and I'm honored to be your moderator this evening. Senator Santorum, let's begin with you.
I'm Rick Santorum, and I want to thank the people of the Low Country for their hospitality to my wife Karen and our 7 children. And I also want to thank the people of Iowa for a little delayed but most welcome victory there. Thank you to the people of Iowa.
I'm Mitt Romney. It's good to be back in South Carolina, see many good friends here. It's also great to be here with my wife and some of my kids. I'm married now 42 years. I have 5 sons, 5 daughters-in-law, 16 grandkids, and they're the joy of my life. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker.
I'm Newt Gingrich. I want to thank the people of South Carolina for being so hospitable as a Georgian. It feels good to be back at home in the South, and I look forward to this evening.
Congressman Paul.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here tonight. I'm a congressman from Texas. I've been elected for 12 times, and also I practiced OBGYN for a 30-year period. I've also served 5 years in the military, and I'm the only U.S. veteran on this stage tonight.
You've met the candidates. It's time now to begin the debate, an event that has quite a dramatically different feel than just a few hours ago. Just this morning, as Senator Santorum just noted, we learned he, not Governor Romney, won the Iowa caucuses. There were 5 podiums on this stage when the sun came up. 4 now because of Governor Rick Perry's decision to drop out. And just as Speaker Gingrich surged into contention here in South Carolina, a direct, fresh character attack on the Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, I want to start with that this evening. As you know, your ex-wife gave an interview to ABC News and another interview at the Washington Post, and this story has now gone viral on the internet. In it, she says that you came to her in 1999, at a time when you were having an affair. She says you asked her, sir, to enter into an open marriage. Would you like to take some time to respond to that?
No, but I will. I think the destructive, vicious, negative nature of much of the news media makes it harder to govern this country, harder to attract decent people to run for public office, and I am appalled that you would begin a presidential debate on a topic like that.
Is that all you want to say, sir?
Let me finish.
Please.
Every person in here knows personal pain. Every person in here has had someone close to them go through painful things. to take an ex-wife and make it 2 days before the primary a significant question in a presidential campaign is as close to despicable as anything I can imagine. My two daughters wrote the head of ABC and made the point that it was wrong, that they should pull it, and I am frankly astounded that CNN would take trash like that and use it to open a presidential debate.
As you noted, Mr. Speaker, this story did not come from our network. As you also know, it is the subject of conversation in the campaign. I get your point. I take your point.
John, it was repeated by your network. You chose to start the debate with it. Don't try to blame somebody else. You and your staff chose to start this debate with it. Now, let me be quite clear. Let me be quite clear. The story is false. Every personal friend I have who knew us in that period says the story was false. We offered several of them to ABC to prove it was false. They weren't interested because they would like to attack any Republican. They're attacking the governor. They're attacking me. I'm sure they'll presently get around to Senator Santorum and Congressman Paul. I am tired of the elite media protecting Barack Obama by attacking Republicans.
As I noted at the beginning, we have 4 podiums on this stage tonight, not 5. And when he exited the race this morning, Governor Perry quickly and forcefully endorsed Speaker Gingrich. And in that remark, he said that, no, Mr. Gingrich is not a perfect man. Senator Santorum, he said none of us are. And he said he believes in his Christian faith. It guides him to the value of redemption. Speaker Gingrich doesn't believe this is an issue. Governor Perry says this is not an issue. I just want to start with you, sir, and go down. Do you believe it is?
I've answered this question repeatedly throughout the course of this campaign. I am a Christian, too, and I thank God for forgiveness. But, you know, these are issues of our lives, and what we did in our lives are issues of character for people to consider. But the bottom line is, those are things for everyone in this audience to look at. And they're going to look at me, look at what I've done in my private life and personal life, unfortunately. What I say is that this country is a very forgiving country. This country understands that we are all fallen, and I'm very hopeful that we will be judged by that standard and not by a higher one on the ultimate day.
Governor Romney?
John, let's get on to the real issues. That's all I got to say.
Congressman?
I think too often all of us are on the receiving ends of attacks from the media, and it's very disturbing because sometimes they're not based on facts, and we suffer the consequences. You know, sometimes it reminds me of this idea of getting corporations out of running campaigns, but what about the corporations that run the media? I mean, they're always in charge. And I think our responsibility, since sorting facts and fiction, the people have to sort this out. But I think setting standards are very important, and I'm very proud that my wife of 54 years is with me tonight.
All right, as I said at the top of the debate, we'll take some questions from the audience. We've reached out to people online. We've also reached out to a number of voters, some who wish they could be here tonight but can't be here tonight. I want to turn to a question from one of those voters. Her name is Jane Gallagher. She's from here in South Carolina. As all of you know, and as everyone in this audience from South Carolina knows, we're in a state with 9.9% unemployment. And Jane asked this question. List 3 or more specific programs that will put American people back to work. Congressman Paul, I want to begin with you. Do you believe we need specific federal programs to put the American people back to work?
Well, most of the things the federal government could do to get us back to work is get out of the way. I'd like to name... I'd like to see the federal government have a sound currency. That creates a healthy economy. I would like to see massive reduction of regulations. I would like to see income tax reduced to near zero as possible. And that is what we have to do. We have to get the government out of the way. We have to recognize why we have unemployment. And it comes because we have a deeply